Welcome to DynamicsPrint webinar series number 1. My name is Amit Rana, and in this first series I will be walking you through the print estimation module of DynamicsPrint. So what is DynamicsPrint? It's a business management system for printers, and the system is geared to meet the needs of complex printing environments. The print estimation module is designed for the offset, digital, large format, and the hybrid print industry. The print estimation module is also a rules-based engine, and the form has evolved based on best business practices, meaning it is easy to use, it's flexible, and very user-friendly. In today's webinar, I have already prepared a booklet called DynamicsPrint booklet, and we will be walking through the functionalities within print estimation module. So I'm going to go directly into the print estimation details form. When I open up the form, it'll show me all the estimates that a user or myself have created. I can click on show all and see all the estimates that there are currently in the print estimation module. So this is the estimate or a sample that I've already configured. Basically, like I said, the estimation module is designed based on best business practices. So right now I'm logged in as an admin. I can see each and every field in the system, but we can configure the forms to make it more user-friendly to the end users. So meaning we can hide these fields through security so the users only get to see what they need to see. So right now I'm on the calculation tab and I'm calling it a DynamicsPrint booklet. I have a customer associated with this estimate. It's a brochure with a run quantity of 1000. All other tabs here can be used to define the estimate further, but you can see most of the information defaults from the overview tab. The customer tab, again, I can pull a customer and all the information in the other fields gets filled up from the customer record. You can also use some sort of CRM functionalities within the estimation module as well. I'm going to go to the production tab now. The production tab is where we actually start to define the technical details behind the job, meaning the number of pages, the run quantity, the type of paper, the number of colors, and so on and so forth. For this sample job, I have a 4-page cover and a 24-page book. Also, in your facilities, you might have jobs that might be bilingual or have different versions. We can create different versions in the estimation module as well, and the system, based on the versions created, gives us the right material and the optimized production route that is needed to produce the job. I'm going to jump onto the print overview tab. This is where we start to define some of the technical details. So I have the text and I have the cover. There's a very important concept in DynamicsPrint which is called the base product. A base product, think of it as a container for your business rules. Business rule could be your manufacturing standards. So you might have manufacturing standards saying if your run quantity is below a certain level, printed on a digital machine, and if a run quantity is above a certain level, printed on an offset machine. So this is where we store all of that information, and this is where the system looks to generate the time and materials, the route, and the BOM needed to produce the job. If you use preps or impositions, there is an imposition table which can be created to basically cater to your needs. You can have different types of impositions in the system, and when you select one, the system looks at the imposition and does the paper calculations and other things accordingly. I can state the color of the job. For this, in this case, I have a 1 color on the front and no color for the text. It's a 1/0 job, and the cover is 4/4. I can also select a different type of paper from my material drop down, and the rest of the information is calculated by the system itself. So you can see how easy it is to use the system just by putting in some values or the basic print technical specifications. You should be able to produce or estimate the job. The print general tab can be used if you have further things in the estimate as well. For example, if you want to emboss, if you want to do lamination or any other finishing operations for the text or the cover. The web print and the web general tabs are used to configure an estimate which is to be produced on a web machine. Bind overview tab is where we specify the kind of binding we want on the job or kind of finishing we want on the job. So in my case, I am doing a saddle stitch for this booklet. And again, the base product concept where we store the rules behind the binding operation. So be it perfect bind or be it saddle stitch or wire or whatever that may be in your case, you can use the base product to store those rules. Binding general tab again helps you to configure more specifics about binding. So one more thing I want to show you here is the delivery tab. So throughout the system, you have the ability to attach images to a lot of fields. Again, it becomes very graphic and very easy to use for the users. They can just look at the image and decide what they want to do. So again, these formats, these images are available all through the system. So once I configure my estimate, I'll click on total price. The total price button defaults to the price of a tab over here. On my right hand side, I see a nice little graph which shows me the variable cost, the labor cost, the fixed cost, and the margin that I'm making on the job. And on the left hand side, I can see all of those details as well. The estimate spec group is a very important concept. So if you want to bucket your operations by departments or by, based on your users, how you want to do it, you can bucket these operations into what we call the base group IDs. So I have different base groups. And again, these are all user defined. I can club and I can see the time and material needed for each of these base groups. The estimate spec tab shows you the route and the materials needed for this job. So again, I have my printing for the text happening on the 2-color machine. That's because I specified a rule saying when my number of colors is less than 2, printed on the digital machine. Whereas my cover is being printed on the Man Roland. And that's because, again, I put in a rule saying when my number of colors is greater than or equal to 4, printed on the Man Roland machine. So I just want to give you an example of how this works in the system. So right now my text is one color and you saw that was being printed on the digital machine. If I change it to 4 colors and click on the total price button again, I should be able to see that now my printing color for the text is happening on the Man Roland. So this is how you define the business rules in the base product. The other functionalities that I want to talk about is the extended price list. Also within the estimation module, we have different functionalities as well. For example, you can create a new version of the estimate, you can copy the estimate and edit the estimate, and you can do all of that. But like I said, I want to show you extended price list. We've seen through our customers that there's a need to configure estimates based on different variables, which means different run quantities, different number of colors, different pages, different materials, and also running across different machines. So I have a sample where I'm running 3 different run quantities on 2 different machines and 2 different color combinations, and my total combination is 12. When I click on See Price List, it shows me all of those combinations running across each of those variables that I just talked about. I can either look at everything which is one color and make a decision based on how much time or what the sales price is, or I can do other things as well. I can just look at all the combinations running on the same type of machine. So again, a very easy to use functionality when you need to generate multiple price lists based on different variables. Throughout DynamicsPrint, you will see the Excel button, and if you press the Excel button, it'll export the data out into Excel. So here you see everything has been exported into Excel. If you want, you can do your pivot tables, or you can do advanced analysis if you wish to do that in Excel. I'm going to close this. One more thing that I want to discuss in this series is what we call the calculation factors or slowdown factors. We know for a fact that the machine slows down based on different variables. The variables could be the thickness of the paper, the ink coverage, the speed, the run quantity, and so on and so forth. So I can click on factor group, and when I click on config lines, it shows me the variables that I've specified, and we'll get to that really soon. So I can mark slow down or fasten up my press based on what the variable is. By clicking diagram, this is where I specify what's my input, which could be paper grammage, which could be number of colors, which could be the run quantity, and I can specify what my speed would be or how my speed would slow down. Again, a very nice functionality to look at press slowdown factors when you are designing the system. That's all I wanted to discuss with you today. Hopefully you liked what you saw, and thank you. Bye-bye.